Hey guys, Future Me here. Welcome to the second episode. I hope you guys are excited. If you'd like to skip an 8-minute monologue, I suggest you tune in around 8:30 or 8:35. I just want to apologize a bit in advance. I tried to change the mic settings a bit and it added a little bit of hissing sound into it, so I couldn't get that out in post, and we're just going to have to deal with it and make sure we have different settings next time. Thank you for watching, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of this series where we are looking to build a full metro system for Washington, D.C. A series that I definitely am questioning my decision to pick such a prominent city that I know so little about. I think it might be the city that I know the least about on the entire list of the big cities, right, that have actual demand. So I'm quite curious to see how this is going to develop because I'm kind of going into it quite blind. But that's okay. I think it makes it a little bit more fun in a way. And perhaps maybe just a bit more entertaining at the same time. I think before we start, and at the risk of monologuing for 10 minutes, to which if I do you guys a favor, I'll put a little PSA if that happens at the beginning so that even people on the TV can say, like, hey, go to minute XYZ if you just want to skip to the game. But let's see if that happens. Uh, I think, first of all, I think it's crazy that there's actually like more views and it's like going up over time. And I saw, if I drag this over, wait, let me, I just want to show something real quick. And I know that I should not be using my desktop. I should have, I guess, it in window mode on OBS. That's the correct way to do that because if someone WhatsApps me or something, it might come through. Discord will probably try to finagle its way into my screen, even though this is the second screen and I've task managered off Discord. It always seems to come back alive. I don't know how Discord is so aggressive, and I've never figured out how to get rid of that. But let's see. If you look at the video, there's 72 views, and it's continuously going up, which is super awesome. So at some point, the algo caught it. But what's really crazy is there's only 49 unique views. Well, I shouldn't say only, but it's there's 49 unique views, and we got 7 subscribers. There's seven. I can show you 7 subscribers. Yeah, 7 subscribers, which means that what 1 divided by 10 is 10%. 1 divided by 5 is 20%. So halfway, like 15, maybe a little bit less, 14% of people who watched it actually subscribed, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I didn't expect that, to be honest. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing because again, that leads me into the next point. Like I really want to do this as a way to better myself in the way that I, present myself and speak. So the number one goal of this of like for the next few videos, and I guess recurring goal based on listening to myself speak before, get rid of as many ums as possible. Nobody wants to hear. And I think it's interesting because I'm not the person who says a lot when I'm live, right? If you talk to me in person or if I'm giving a presentation, which I think makes sense because in a conversation you're just spitballing and you're also, how should I say, what's the word? You're already filtering it, right? So there's an expectation of filtering. And during a presentation, I will never read a script. I don't do that. It's really not my thing. But you have the context and you kind of already know roughly what you want to say. I think what makes this so difficult and why this is such a challenge for me and why I want to take it on is the whole idea is if I have a thought, I say that out loud, right? You're here to relax, maybe put me on the side, maybe fall asleep to me, maybe watch me fully, maybe pop a brew, whatever it is, right? If you're watching this and you want to hear exactly what I'm thinking. And when I listen to the playback, what I've realized is most of the times when I say it's actually a moment that I probably had a deep thought because it's I'm doing this live, right? So I don't really have a plan, or maybe I have an idea of a plan, but I still have to think on the spot. And because of that, sometimes you get stuck in a thought. And instead of articulating it, I go, um, and that's a bit annoying, but also I want to share whatever thought was going through that moment. I want to start bringing that out more and more so that the goes down and the thoughts come out, which actually I think it'd be fun if we had an counter. Like we put it like up here in this top corner, basically, just how many ums. I don't know how to edit that because based on the last video, I say a lot. So I'd be editing for days, even if AI were to somehow tell me every second that I said But maybe there's some option to have AI analyze it and just tell me how many ums were in the video, and then at the beginning of each video, we can kind of do like a little scoreboard analysis of my umming because I think it's would be fun. So yeah, no, and I did not post last week because there was no heating in my apartment when it was sub freezing for 4 days, and by the time Sunday came, it was the fourth day. It was 12 degrees, so low 50s, mid 50s. Don't quote me on it. And I'm in a studio, so like with no central airflow, you have to open the window to to get fresh air. So I'm in a little studio by myself for 4 days with no heating, and of course I was very not willing to open the window for fresh air because of it being -5, which is like 20 some low 20s degrees in Fahrenheit. So yeah, I anytime I called somebody, I was incoherent. I was shivering the whole time, even with jackets on and stuff. Because at a certain point, 12 degrees for 4 days straight, even when you're sleeping, just wears you down. And yeah, there was no way I was gonna record a video correctly and make it enjoyable. So alas, here I am on the next Sunday, enjoying myself. I hope you can enjoy it with me. I think that this was definitely a monologue. So what was that? 7 minutes? Yeah. I mean, I think one last thing on the audio quality. I so I need a new apartment, obviously, based on the gas thing that I just said, and I need a new chair, and I probably shouldn't be talking into a concrete wall. So, but because I want to get a new apartment, I'm not gonna, treat the concrete wall right behind me right now, and I probably won't buy a new chair because most of this furniture should probably be thrown out. It's just a little studio with, yeah. I mean, I'll keep the screens, the computer, and the TV. That's it. I mean, I don't want the rest, to be honest. It's old and from the old tenant. So yeah, that's got to go. But I think one thing, I move around a lot when I speak, so I'm not used to having the microphone here. So the volume kind of changes a bit, especially with also my energy levels. So I'm gonna play around a little bit with the settings each video and try to see because I thought last time was a bit too compressed to get to the volume level I wanted. So let's see how it comes out this time. I've kind of changed the settings a little bit. So do expect that to be kind of a evolving door. And if there's anyone who has experience or understanding of how to kind of work around that and how to really kind of dial in the sound, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I mean, I have like a $50 desk mic. It's not crazy, but of course it's much nicer than a headset mic. So we'll stick with that. Anyways, with that, we can start the video. So last time we built our first line, right? A kind of a branch line. So we have the Kennedy and the Truman line, where it's basically a north-south line with a branch on each end. I think it's nice because it goes straight to the core. Let's go. First off, let's go to full screen. That's nice. And then let's open up the demand. Right, so it's quite good at connecting residents in the north, residents in the south, with workers in this or workplaces in the center, and I quite like that. I think this is a fantastic line. I have no regrets. I had mentioned that I thought, yeah, maybe a heavy metro was a bit too much, and I disagree. I think this was perfect. I think it's expensive. I think if you look at the money at the bottom, right? If we open up the bank balance, we're making 7 million. So given that we spent nearly 2 billion, we need to be careful on the money, or I'm probably going to have to be skipping or fast forwarding through some, what should I say, waiting for the bank balance to fill up, which I'm going to start the clock in a minute. Um, there's an for you. So I think today it has to stick to a core line. I didn't want to go with the same thing as I mentioned last time, which is basically this line here, out to here, on the basis that I am trying to keep it quite randomized, and I just want to kind of get in and see what happens, and struggle a little bit. But it's the only option, right? We have to build this line. We need to get money. If we don't start raking in money, we're going to be sitting here. This game will, I mean, you might sit for, even at 4 times speed, you might sit for 2 or 3 or 4 hours if your lines are profitable, but not extremely. So let's get the second core line in. I think this video will be straightforward. I think that the monologue was the longest thing of this video. And then I think from the next video onward, we can start actually really kind of designing, like, where do we want the vibe of the network to be? What are we looking for branch lines? What are we looking for light rail and such? How do we want to connect the airport? Because if we expand out, you can see we can definitely go far, but it's going to be expensive, because remember, this was almost 2 billion, and just to get to here is double the distance. So yeah, like, I mean, this would be nice to extend out here, but I don't know. That's gonna be tough. Let's just get the core line in. We need to make money. We need to focus on getting money into the bank account every day. That is the goal, because even if so our revenue is 20, we're never going to get to the 100 million a day with the next line. That's just not possible. And even if that 500 million bond is not going to do much, right? That's just like completing or adding a few stations. So we really have to get the core 2 lines built. Make sure we're getting 15, ideally. Hopefully it scales, right? So hopefully we're getting connections. If we're getting connections, I would hope that we'd be getting 20 million a day. It will be better because we will go through a phase, I think, where we're not going to build out to these places. We can kind of inject a little bit of light rail here and there, so we can kind of get away with the fact as we build up the daily P&L. But yeah, we got to get money in the account. Like, otherwise we're going to end every video with me doing a 3 or 4 minute fast forward that in real time is 4 times running for 2 hours, and I don't really want that. I don't think you want that either. I want this to be a self-sustaining operation. So because money is needed, I'm going to go ahead and start the game on 4 times. Now, for now, I will keep the sound on of the little boop, 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 boop things. You can quote me on that. I don't know if I want to keep it or not. I think it's going to get a little bit obnoxious because of how often it goes on. At 4 times speed, it just gets crazy. And then if you add in, like when I tried New York and I built 2 lines that had 10 trains each, it gives you a migraine. So I would like to see some way that they can. I love the sound. It's nice and relaxing for the first line, but it gets way too much way too quickly. So this video, I'll keep it on. If you don't like it, I probably will agree with you, but let me know. And if I see that, yeah, most people are saying please remove it or please keep it, then I'll decide on that basis, because I can always just mute it for myself. After this video, I will mute it for myself. I don't want to listen to it, just because the lines are going to get too busy. But yeah, that's fine. So anyway, okay, this is the real start. So yes, let's go ahead and build the core line, the second core line. I think we're going to go to, I thought the Lincoln Monument was here. Memorial, sorry. Is there no demand there? I thought there was demand last time. Am I crazy? Huh. I thought there was a demand circle here. Okay, so we are deviating because I specifically wanted to make a Lincoln line, and I specifically told myself that it has to go through the Lincoln Memorial, which I want to monologue about the Lincoln Memorial at some point. Just the naming of it. But let's get building first, and then I can start getting sidetracked again. Hmm. So this is obvious, right? So what street is this? Fairfax. Okay, so it's definitely going down Fairfax. Like, there's no way around it. It at least will go to here, where you have a big blob of residential and workers. That will happen. Okay, so I see it going down to here. But let's just build. Let's. Okay. Don't yourself to death. Let's see. Where do I want it to connect? So it's gonna have to go through L Street or 12th Street. I can't believe they named things after letters. This completely shocks me. I think are these mostly work? This is mostly workers. So because of that, because the game again, if you remember from last time, right, we're trying to connect workers or residents to worker blobs in simplest terms. So because this is mostly worker blobs, obviously at the end here, oh, that's a lot of residents as well. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to L Street. I'm planning a little bit ahead here, so call it cheating if you will. You can connect at L Street. That gives you access down to 12th Street, or you can just walk. Remember, some people walk 40 minutes, so they might walk from they might get off at L Street and walk to here. They might not even get on the metro. And then in the future, there'll probably be some way, some train going north south again that maybe terminates here or here. So there's always going to be connection points. So I think that's a simple one. I think. Now, the question, and oh yeah, and we're definitely going down K Street. Great names. I don't know if that's the algorithm not picking up the names or if that's the real names. It's really weird to me. I'm not from the area. I know it's the U.S. capital, so it's a special city, but it's just weird. Like a little bit depressing almost, if you ask me, to just name like, hey, I'm going to K Street. Where's the Five Guys? Oh, it's on L Street. I don't know. It seems weird to me. Sorry to offend. So we'll go down K Street. Let's build it to this park. I wish it would give the name of the park. Like it should be able to do that. I don't think that should be too much to add. It would be that's on my wish list. Be great for especially for content creators. That because I see there's a ton of them doing it, and it's people can be tough sometimes if you don't know the local landscape, and it'd be nice if it just said the landmarks. But that's fine, or at least the parks, right? So it is because it is identifying the parks. Let's build this park. After that, depending on how much money we have left, we can decide what we want to do because I think this is the minimum terminating point that we need. So with that, let's start down here. And how do we want to go across? Do we have depth? Where's the depth tool again? Totally forgot. I forgot how to see depth. Map. Yeah, ocean floor. This is the ocean floor depth tool. Ooh, 12 meters. We're gonna bridge it. I'm not building 12 meters deep. Let's do a bridge. Oh, but it needs to be tall. How tall does this bridge need to be? I'm gonna build it at some elevation as a bridge, and I'm hoping that somebody calls me out and tells me what I should build it at to be correct, or if I should tunnel it. 12 meters. It's quite a deep bank, given that it's only 4 in the wide part. But I guess it makes sense, right? Because the water flows down, hits this kind of, hits land and kind of digs down with extra erosion, while here probably has lower water flow. I don't know. Science, I think. Fluid dynamics, totally my thing. It's not. So, but you can always aspire to be something. Yeah. Oh, we want to get to there. Where are we going from here? Anywhere. You can go anywhere. Literally anywhere. So just slap it in there. Just slap it in. Where's my lock? It's gonna disappear on me. Oh no, it's staying. Okay. We're gonna go with the heavy metro. This is cut. Oh, it's cut and cover. Build. There we go. Is that too? No, look, this is a peak area. Come on, man. Give them. Don't make them walk. Yeah. It's kind of awkward. I think we're gonna go underground. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, it's actually gonna do a little bit of a little hooky maneuver. I think. Let's see how we make it around this bend. So basically, no, actually, this is wrong. So I thought maybe we go here and out, but actually, if we go down Clarendon Boulevard, I think we can build down south, curl up, get a nice little windy metro. Everyone likes a good wind in their metro. Turn north, follow this little street, hook up fully north, and then cut. Oh, there's a bridge there. It's perfect. I mean, I don't. Well, we're gonna actually build a bridge this way, but a little bit northeast bound. But yeah, so let's delete Rhodes Street. Get rid of that. Let's build a station. You only have a station there. How close do you want these stations? Not that close. And that's not going to work. Okay, so let's build it a little bit. Sorry, buddy, your front yard is now mine. It's for the good of the people. No, I'd say let's not build a station there. That can be an expansion point. We can always come back to that, which I learned it's really painful on this game. You can't just pause the game, and I should be running this game. You cannot just, now it's running, you cannot just pause the game, delete the track, and add in a station. You basically have to kill the whole line, and then you can do that. So that's a bit unfortunate. But that is life, right? Sometimes life is a bit tough. Let's go ahead and build the tracks. Let's connect this up. Little nice bend here. Okay. Oops. Oh. Let's see. Is this going to be nice or is it going to be bad? I don't like that. Let's take this back. Let's build this. Yeah, that's much nicer. Oh, that's a much better turn. And I think we just roll this all the way back up Fairfax Drive and let's build it from the other station since Gleb Road here, the Gleb Road station has a nice straight entrance. That's kind of a easier fit. Oh, you fool. You are too trigger happy on the bulldozer. Right, so if we build from Monroe Street, this has the kind of S-band we need to build. So let's get the S-band in how we want it. Yeah, that's a much higher speed. And then we just have all the time in the world to kind of line up here with Glebe Road. Glebe Road. Oh wow, there's also a metro option here. Oh, we can do like a little northern line in London, you know? I don't know if you've been to London, but the northern line is just every time I'm in London, I always find myself having to take the northern line. I don't know why. It is a weird line. It doesn't make any sense. It splits off in the middle and then connects back up in the north and the south and then splits off again in the north and the south. It's such a weird line. It's kind of cool. It looks cool on a map. So maybe eventually this will split off and kind of go down south here and then back up and be one line, just kind of with two legs. Or not even legs. They're not even because they're not branches. Or are they branch? Is it a branch? If you if you have a line, let's just make it simple. If in the north and the south it ends at the same place, but for the roughly 5 stations in the middle of the line, it splits and it goes different ways and then connects back up. Is that considered a branch? I honestly don't know. Like, I don't know. I would think it's a branch, right? Because it is branching off, but it's like a contained branch because it ultimately ends up in the same destination. Ooh. I don't, we're not, we're trying not to demo buildings. So I've noticed my pacing is much faster in speaking, but my pacing of game content is, let's build a station, is much, much slower. So I don't know how I feel about that. There we go. That's much nicer. Okay, so what's the plan here? So we're gonna have to do this little. Hmm. Actually, so yeah, so we're going to Pierce Street. So actually, I think we want to go north. I'd rather take the hit here on speed down south, on the southwest, go up one street north, and that gives us kind of a nicer entrance into Pierce Street. That also means that if I want to do my idea later of doing this line, I think it makes a bit more sense in the south because there's more separation. And also, this lets us capture this bubble a bit better up here. So let's go ahead and delete Edgeware Street. Sorry. Sorry. Oops. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Mm. Oh, the last station's there. It's gonna be build station. Build here. This is going to be a sharp turn, but I don't care. Right? If it's at the station, it's not that. It's too close. How much does it cost so far? 435 million. You're never going to make it. We're not making enough money. You're going to be stuck having to do the slow burn at the end, aren't you? Yep, and then I'm going to have to fast forward it, and I don't know how to do that in my video editor because I am not a video guy. Well, you said you wanted to learn, so now's a good chance. Yeah, but I wanted to learn how to speak, not video edit. Nothing you can do about it at this point. Just gonna have to deal with it. All right, let's get back to, can we, ooh. Okay, build this here. Then onto Clarendon. Yeah, that's the sound the train makes. I think that probably got gated out. It's a bit interesting because I tend to have a bit of this hissing sound when I speak. Ooh, that's fine. You know what? A good metro needs a little bit of winding. I think that's part of that. It's part of what makes it charming. So I've kind of basically just low pass filtered, low pass filtered out the hiss sound. So if you hear me give kind of a breathy laugh or That's hideous. Is it? Yeah, so a sharp, yeah, no, it's got to go wide, right? That's all the space we got. We're gonna have to deal with that. So, yeah, I basically kind of low passed out the hissing sounds because this is gonna be a mega sharp turn, you fool. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. There we go. It's a sharp turn. That's fine. So yeah, again, I've kind of low pass filtered out the hissing sounds because, and the S, it's also the S sound, just because I noticed one, I don't like it that much in videos. It's quite sharp, and then two, it tends to be come in at a higher volume if you're speaking into the mic, which means that you basically like for me, I'm not that good at managing the sound, and then it just will mean like you have an hour long video and then a couple S sounds or a couple chuckles now have hit the peak and completely changed your entire ability to, you know, make it sound on one level but not sound disgustingly compressed. So yeah, for now it's kind of filtered out. Maybe I get a little bit more dynamic about it in the future, but I'm just starting out and I just want to focus on expressing myself, having fun, enjoying myself, and then we can start kind of grinding in some stuff if we decide that it's even worth it, you know? It might not even be worth it. I might say I don't like doing this. But the whole point was you post this so you hold yourself accountable. That's true. Okay, I'm just looking at this now. In my head, when I mapped this out, hopefully to you guys as well, I thought this would be nice. I don't know how I feel about it. You did say you like a nice little wines, and I was like, and it's like, yes, I do like a bit of wines. I also like a bit of speed. I'm here to make money. But I don't see how to get around it because if you go here, yeah, yeah, you're not gonna make it. You have no other choice. There is no other option unless you go down here and you come. No, see, if we go down here, then we have to shoot up and everything, and then we gotta connect to the road. It's K Street, I think it is. It's much better if we just come out here and come around. That's not the shortest route. I don't care. All right, we're settled. We're building. Oh, what do you want to do here? You want to bridge this, don't you? You do. Then get above ground, buddy. You're 9 meters deep. Yeah, but 3 meters deep seems quite shallow beneath a highway. So I'm assuming this highway is elevated. And you want to be on the right side because you're going to shoot right. And I think we want to come across here. Oh, but how are you going to get elevated? The road's in the way. Hmm. And it's a highway, and you know it's in America, so it's gonna be 2 stories high. Yeah, but you can have a train thread through all the gaps. It's America. Do you really think that they plan for a train anywhere? Well, DC does have a metro. Yeah, but I think it's all underground. So, hmm. I'm speechless right now. I'm also thoughtless. There's no umming here. I think this is where the pace starts slowing down a little bit. Okay, let's just try to get up. You can do it. Oh. Oh, this is elevated. Okay. Do we get over? It is elevated. 7 meters elevated. Okay, let's. No. Oh, no. Above 4.5 meters. So, how are we going to get out of this? Oh, I see what we're gonna do. Okay, so let's delete this track. Let's get, you like sharp turns. Oh, we need to get higher quicker. So let's yeah, you get to delete some of the ugly stuff. Can we go elevated here and just run it as an That's, I hope this is not high this is not prime real estate because it's about to be that's what are you talking about? You specifically tried to get an apartment once so you could watch the central train station. Yeah, that's true. Let's make the grade a little bit less. Let's make it a little bit less. Come on. Okay, this is now let's there we go. We're above ground. Kind of. Can we get we need 5 meters. 5 meters, guys. Oh no. Okay, so this is above. So let's keep this. I think it needs to be 4. Is 4 gonna work? Yes, 4 is gonna work. So let's keep this as close as we can to the surface. Let's take a little bit of a sharp turn so we can get around. There we go. And then now let's tee ourselves. Yeah, this is. There we go. Now let's get up. We gotta get. We don't have a lot of space. Oops. How much space do we need? So that's 1 meter. We're gonna have to tunnel, and it's gonna be so expensive. It's gonna have to go so deep. Can you go here? It doesn't look like it's gonna work, but how can we get above ground? We need to get above ground here. I'm completely stuck here. I don't want to tunnel. I mean, you have more space if you go here. No, but it doesn't solve the problem. No, and you're not going to get up. I think you just got to bulldoze it. Can you get up? It, theoretically, can we get up? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This was such a great idea. We're not even on the other side yet. We're 40 minutes in, and you've built nothing. You fool. Well, you monologued for like 20 minutes. So you've only been building for less than 20. Yeah, we building one station every 5 minutes. It's not the best. Oh, I'm so stuck here. You should just plan these out. Yeah, but that's not fun. How do you get down? That's the question, right? Because you're going to have to dig 12. So let's just test something. If we build, and this is really where you need a better depth tool because it's going to get chaotic here. If we're going to build this, that's fine. How shallow can we go? Are you going to let me do this? You shouldn't. Really? But it's 8 meters. But you can build the tunnel. I think the tunnel can sit on the ground, actually. So if it's 8 meters deep, the tunnel might be 8 meters deep because it's sitting on the ocean floor, I think. I feel like I watched a B1M video where they were dropping, I think it was the tunnel between Denmark and it was either Denmark and no, not Denmark and Sweden. I think it was Denmark and Germany where they just dropped the tunnel on the floor. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna drop a tunnel on the floor. So that means we have to go back. And I really wish it would have a depth tool because now it's gonna be confusing on how deep we are. I think we're 9 anyway, right? Yeah, we are 9. Perfect. Okay, build here. Let's get a little bit out. You don't need any speed. You've already killed the speed. There we go. And we're basically back to the drawing board, and we want to go on the right side of the... No, we don't. You want to go on the left side of the bridge because you want to hook... No, you don't need to. I don't think you need to. You're going to delete this whole thing again, aren't you? Yes. If I was a betting man. All right, so now we can go across. Let's make that approach a little bit better. Let's do it like build the tunnel. Can you go under here? No, you can't. That's why you wanted to build. Okay. Let's use the arrow keys for once. There we go. And now S-bend. It's gonna S-bend like crazy. I'm fine with that. I don't care. I think that's reasonable. Now it's gonna be a really sharp turn. Nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Let's go ahead. What's the cost? Yeah, we're not making any money. 600, we might get this. Yeah, okay, so this is K Street. Yeah, this is K Street. Let's build. Let's see how, because we don't know how deep this is. That's the problem. We have no depth gauge. Oh, you're gonna have to go deep, aren't you? I wonder what depth I built it at. Okay, 15's fine. So let's go ahead and build. How shallow can I go? Okay, you can go 14. Okay, so 14 is the depth we need to build. Let's build the station here. So now these will operate as one unified station. Will it show us? I love that you can just click away from this and you can see what you're building, right? Is this going to show it? Station group, see? So we have the Kennedy and the Truman line going through L Street and then through 15th Street. I thought it's K Street. You can see the new station. This should be K Street, no? This is K Street. This is 15th Street. This should be 15th Street Station because this street here is 15th Street, this north-south. Let's rename this because this is annoying. So you're 15th Street. Community save. Okay. And you are K Street. There we go. Let's also save DC episode 2. I just felt a little stutter on my computer and I got a bit scared. And I don't want to spend a half hour building the same thing if I can prevent that from happening. Workers, I think this is pretty straightforward. I think we did the hard part, so I think now it's just linking it up, right? Because this is just easy building for us. Let's build it here. Is that too far apart? Is there anything over here that you want to build for? Not really. No, I'll build it here. Don't you want a station here? Nah, just don't overthink it. You've overthought way too much this episode. Oh, what depth do you want to build at? Because you got to remember these depths. Bring it back up to the minimum. So delete this. Delete this. Build a station. Yeah, oh, yeah, you don't want to build that deep. It's expensive. All right, so it's just a shallow station. Shallow station, not a trap. Shallow station. There we go. And then you should automatically move up. Let's just build that to here just to make sure that now we're locked in at that 4 meters. I just kind of want, my thought is since we don't really have a good gauge of depth, right? So, I mean, of course, I can note it down and remember it, but as we start having crossovers and transfer stations, we're going to need to start really managing the depth, and it really gets complicated if you can't see exactly where everything is. So I think my plan is build at -4 meters, unless unless you're building a deep line, and then we can discuss that later. So if we just want to go under a bunch of buildings, right now these two core lines are built under major, boulevards and stuff like that. So we can do the cut and cover method. Unless you need to go deep, stay at -4, and that way we just have a. Otherwise, I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna have to pull up the old video, which this might be the best reason why I have the old video actually. Now that I think of it. But it's going to be too complicated, right? So is it at 4 meters? Is it at 9 meters? Who knows? Just keep it at -4 meters unless you need to go under a station. Oh, you need to walk this back. You need to build a station here. And then you need to connect the tracks because you need to go north, not west. Well, it's northwest if you're being correct. That's a nice little bend. You did something nice for once. Residents, just build one station here. There's not much going on here. They can walk 40 minutes. Maybe they get a light rail later. Yeah, see, that was easy. That was easy peasy. Walk that back. That's ugly. Yeah, that's kind of cutting the corner a little bit, but that's fine. Gonna be a little wiggle. It's a decent job at getting rid of the wiggle. What's our cost estimate? Oh, guys, we actually might make it. That's crazy. So where do you want the next station? I think we put the next station here because I like, you already should know, I like branching, right? Again, I don't want to live on a branch line, but I like looking at them on a map. So let's build a station kind of at the entrance to the, oh. Sorry, I'm, fine. See, and here's where the depth is going to be a bit of a pain. Oh. You had hopes. You had made a rule and you immediately broke it. So here, okay, so here's the station, and now we can make a sharp bend to branch. We're not going to have the money this time to branch. It's just not going to happen. And this is not going to be the Reagan line. I'm thinking out loud now for names. Because the Reagan line will go to Reagan National. I've determined that. We will build a line when we can afford it, because it's not the most, I don't think it's the most, I get very distracted. So you have the Pentagon, then you have Reagan. So actually the Reagan line would be a good line. Ooh. But it's going to be expensive. It's another day. I think personally, metros that go to an airport that have a cool name, like Reagan National, should be called either the Reagan line or it should be called the National line, right? The Heathrow line, the Schiphol. There's no Schiphol line, but you know what I mean, right? If it's a cool airport name, the Changi line, but I think Singapore now has a few lines going to the airport. But that's fine, right? So we're gonna stick to this naming convention, right? So if we go to Dulles, it's gonna be called the Dulles line. It's just happening. I don't know if Baltimore, Washington is here. Okay, so we built everything we needed to build. Are you happy with that? So we connect with a lot of residents here in the Southwest. You're not in dark mode, are you? You just realized that? Oh. Yo. Sorry guys, we're gonna go back to dark mode, I think, next episode. I don't know why I didn't notice that. I'm recording this during the day, so I'm not as sensitive to it, but I do want to do it in dark mode. I think it's more... Everyone can like dark mode, but not everyone can like light mode, me included, most of the time. Did say last episode, sometimes, well, this is a rare exception in this game, that I actually like the light mode, because it's not white, right? They do kind of tone it down a little bit. But yeah, we're going to go to dark mode next time. It's fine. It's confident later. So in the Southwest, we have some workers, but we have tons of people. And right now we kind of have the north line. Later, we're going to do kind of maybe like a branch, like a northern line split. Look it up if you haven't seen the northern line. It's really cool. And in that case, then, you know, we'll kind of have this little, everyone can kind of be happy. But right now it's just a northern branch. Then we have a tunnel that sits on the ocean, on the river floor. Not a deep tunnel. I hope we don't get hit by a ship. I'm not sure how big of the ships are that go down this. What river is this again? I forget. We go across, we go to north, we make landfall again. We go down 31st Street. Is that 31st Street? I feel like 31st is north-south. 31st is north-south. I'm learning the naming conventions. So that's probably going to need to be changed. Nah, actually 31st Street makes sense, right? And then we turn a little bit southeast. We meander through this intersection, this big roundabout, down to 21st Street. Then we reach our first interchange, right? Real interchange, not counting the spots where, I mean, I guess technically you could call 15th Street the spot where you can decide to switch lines to go to a branch, but first real interchange. Then we have a short little stop to 9th Street. And from 9th Street, I think when we have more money, we will branch. Because I think we definitely want to go have a branch to here. And I think we definitely want to have a branch down south to here, which is going to look super cool, I think, on the map. So. Is it time? Oh, we're just short. We're just short on money. So yeah, this is going to be it for the day. We're not going to build anything more. We will branch eventually. Maybe we have like a branch episode after we have a few lines and some money. But let's just wait here for, how long is this going to take? I'm probably going to fast forward it. 7 million. I think you should fast forward. It's 52 minutes. You fast forward. And then, yeah. So I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to make a note of this. We're at 53 minutes and 20 seconds, we're going to say. I'm just giving myself a note. And I will come back when this is done. Well, we have enough money. By done, I mean we have enough money. And then we will finish this episode. So, speak to you soon. Just wanted to give you a better view. Now, I'll sign off for short term. Alright guys, after, I don't know, 30 something minutes, we are back. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say that I would, as much as I would love a ski, if there's any devs that ever watch this and make it to this exact point in the video, while a skip option would be extremely nice, I can understand that skipping days is probably a different technical implementation. Please, 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 make it so that we can go like 12 times or even 20 times, because waiting 30 minutes to just barely get enough money when you're starting out is crazy. And it means you're kind of stuck, right? So I wanted to do something that wasn't London or wasn't New York because I wanted, just to do something different. I've determined now I will do New York for the next series, and I'm going to do a long series. It's going to be fast paced or faster paced. It's going to be an extensive series, I think, maybe like a 20 or 30 episode one. If I enjoy, if by the end of this I'm still enjoying it, this series. So yeah, but at least like a 20 times fast forward would be nice when you're starting out, right? It allows you to play kind of these. I shouldn't say. I mean, DC is still a major city, right? It's not anything like I love the game. It's just to get going. When you get those first couple lines, they're expensive. You're generally building the heavy metro because it's the core line, just like you would in a real city. So they're expensive and they don't have all the connections yet, right? So they don't earn that much money yet. So realistically, I think you just have to implement an extra fast forward because I wanted to film the next video, for example, because I'm going to be gone next weekend, but this time I will not be able to do that. So ideally, or hopefully, I get to film it during the week before I go away for the weekend. But yeah, because now I'm running into a hard cutoff for the day with some stuff I have to do. So with that, I see that the balance should be sufficient now. I did notice on the trains. I don't know if you were watching. I don't know how long I'm gonna speed this up or how much I'm gonna speed it up. The past 30 minutes, 35 minutes or whatever it was. But I was playing around a little bit with the ticket price to see if we can kind of change it a bit and get more money. Basically, what I did, I tried 25 cents more and I tried 50 cents more, and it almost always came out to about 7 million. Nothing that's going to change anything. Just because basically there was any increase in price was almost exactly offset by the number of passengers. Now, granted, you could probably raise the price a bit and then reduce the trains, which is why I started looking at the trains. And I had decided that for the Kennedy line, I think we can drop the train. Where's my trains? We just want to run one train. It didn't seem like it was getting full, but every 28 minutes, I'm not too happy about. But there's not much we can do about that. We need to make more money because, yeah, I mean, I want the episodes to be self-contained, right? I want to build the line, and then I want to design the line, and then I want to build it. And I get that you are going to, especially for a big line like this at the beginning, gonna need to fast forward a bit, but we should still optimize how much money we make so that it should be 10 or 20 minutes in the real world. And it will get better, right? Because we're gonna shift a little bit, right? I think we're gonna shift to light rail. Maybe we do a light rail next. I don't want to start doing more branching yet. I would like to try a light rail, but no promises that I keep to that. So it should be a bit cheaper, and we should have a bit more money coming into the bank now after we build this. So let's get to it. Let's hit the build button because I'm excited. I don't know about you. Let's build it. There she is. She is now built. Let's save it. This is a long video. Where is DC? DC. Override. 8 million in the bank. We are rich. We are rich. Okay. Let's build a new route. From 9th Street. Oh, it's been a couple weeks. Create routes. Here we go. From 9th Street. Why is it not letting me create a new route? Let's make it, we're going to call it Washington because I want the Reagan line to be to Reagan National. And it's not going to be red because obviously the Reagan line needs to be the red one. So, going to make it green. You don't seem excited. you're not excited about it. You can always change it. Right, and why is the Washington line? Because it goes through the heart of the city, just north of the White House. I think this is the heart of the city, but it's on a nice big boulevard, and we're going to stick to that. Edit route. Hello. Oh, no. Remember the last episode when I said, remember that crossovers are expensive? Yeah. We didn't build any crossovers. That's sad. How much is this going to cost? We're really poor. The cost 15 million. So we need 30 million. Oh, that's like another 20 minutes. Ooh. Can we just like is it cheaper to just yeah, can we just like you know oops. I need to get going soon. Not soon, but like, I'm kind of gonna rush myself. How much does that cost? More money. Okay, so crossover it is. Crossover it is. Well, we have removed one train, so hopefully it's more efficient. Um, yeah. All right. I said it. I said it. Don't forget the crossover, and you did it. I did it. I mean, at some point we're gonna do like a live stream. Like once we have enough lines, I think we're gonna do. My thought is maybe after like 5 or 6 or 7 episodes, when we have 5, 6, or 7 lines that because I don't really want to upgrade the branches that much. Maybe I think I'm thinking of having if there's actually people following this, then to do a live stream where it's like it'll be like a branch stream, right? So it's just focused on building new branches, and then somebody can call me out and be like, "You fool, you think you're done, but you're not." So with that, I will depart again for another 20 minutes or so and come back, and then let's run some trains because I think the goal is right. Whether it's a video on Subway Builder, Transport Fever, which I would like to do at some point. That would be like a dream to just play Transport Fever. I haven't played it in so long. I want to get a new CPU. I need to get a new CPU. I have a 5820K. She has done so well over the years, but it's time for a new CPU. I have a great idea for a Transport Fever. Fantastic idea. I've always wanted to build it. There's a map mod that I really really like, and I would like to play that. I'm gonna play it regardless. So ideally, I play it on here. I think would be fun because it's one that would be quite mentally stimulating. I think not the biggest map, but very stimulating. So I think it'd be fun. And yeah, no, let's see how this series goes. I'm gonna keep it to one game at least until the end of this series. Also, just because I'm trying to figure out how often do I actually play, and then we can go from there. So with that, I leave you for a few minutes, and I will begin fast forwarding again on probably on the editing in post, and come back to you when I am at 30 million. Wait, let's check trains. Where do I check my trains? You have 30 cars. You're running 3 trains max. It's 15 cars. Each train is 5 cars because we're running the shortest train. So we do have enough trains. So we do not need to buy trains. So that is great. I think, did we buy trains in the first episode to be safe? Anyway, suggestion, buy some extra trains at the beginning, so that's baked in that you have extra supply. It doesn't cost you anything if you don't use them. Because imagine now if we had to boot the crossovers and buy trains, how bad it would be. So always buy a couple extra sets of trains when you start the game. With that, I bid you a farewell and see you soon. Okay, guys. So that took, that was only, I think, another 10 minutes. So 10, 15. It's not so bad. I didn't keep track of when I started this. But now we can finally get some trains. I'm excited. Look, don't get me wrong. I love this game. I love the building. It's just a little bit of a slow grind at the start. I think this is something that will be worked out as the game goes on. You just need to kind of, mentally prepare yourself a little bit. And I just walked into this and totally did not do that. So that's on me more than anything. So yeah, let's go ahead. You need to build a second crossover, but you can afford it. Let's save because I remember sometimes it doesn't work when you do the crossover in front, and that would be very unfortunate if we needed to wait for another 30 million, because then I would have to cut this video, and then I'm going to cut this video anyway, but kind of come back and do this another time, because I anticipated built doing two 45-minute videos with a half-hour buffer, but instead in real time we're at the 150 mark. So yeah, we won't do the second video today. I do need to get going at some point in the next few. There's not at least not enough time for another video. All right, so we now have the crossovers. We now can go to routes. We can now go to the Washington line. We can now go to edit routes, and we can now hopefully 9th Street build to K Street. There she goes. Oh yeah, and remember, this is not Transport Fever. You can just double click and it will auto efficient, make it auto efficientize it. I don't know what the term I'm thinking of is, if it's a real word or if I'm making it up. Did you want a station there? Not really. That was a quick answer. Yeah. Nah, yeah, I don't. Maybe when you do the Northern Line expansion, the Northern Line style expansion, you will, but yeah, not very nice. Yeah. There we go. The Washington line. Let's take a look. I am excited. Let's look at it. She's nice and green. We've got a little bit of Seattle vibes going with the red and the blue and green. It keeps pausing it every time you go to the route menu. Please keep making money. Please. Do not stop making money. Look at that. I think it's got this little the little chicanes here. But I think it's adorable. I think it's got a lot of potential. I think once it gets in the city, it's very well organized. I think it makes sense, right? This is, I'm assuming, kind of looks like an kind of old school suburban, maybe. So the roads are a bit windy. The track's gonna wind a bit. We're not gonna dig under somebody's house. Sorry, Joe, but you probably wanted to hear that your house is worth it, but at least you don't have a metro underneath it now. So we don't have to dig anything out. So yeah, it's a bit windy. Let's go ahead and put a train on it, and let's go ahead and see it run, because it's 1 in the morning. So let's go ahead and get some trains on the next start of the day. Let's go with 2 during high demand. It is a long route actually, so every 30 minutes. So every 15 minutes, and then every 31 minutes during medium demand. And again, that was an that was not intentional. I think we're gonna keep away from night trains. I just don't see a point. There it is. There it is. We now have trains running. It's already 5 a.m. Let's 177 people. Can we follow him? Hello, sir. Good day, Mr. Train. How do you follow again? Yes, there we go. Oh, it's going to be a bit staticky. Oh, you have to keep it clicked. Okay. I did not know that. Follow train. Let's go to 2 times. Yeah, that's a little bit more smooth. All right, down to Barton Street. How are we looking? It's got 450 people on it. It is cool though that like the train goes to the stops in essentially what is real time. So the time on the bottom and the distance it takes, I don't know how to describe this, add up, right? If you include the multiplier, it is exact, which is really awesome. Okay, so everybody's going into the no, nobody's getting off. Okay, nobody's getting on, nobody's getting off. There we go. A lot of people connecting. They're connecting. And then people get on at 9th Street. Wow, people going the other way. Are they going to connect here? No, that's too short of a distance. I'm just checking that passenger count here at the bottom. Okay, so people look like, oh, wow, okay. So people do want to go across, so they get on at 21st Street. Okay. Yeah, I like the little bend. Look, it was a really difficult thing building this, and I really got stuck on it. But I'm really happy with the little meandering here. It gives it a nice charm. I think it's a special line, right? It's named after the first president. It's a bit unique. I tend to want to build very cleanly shaped lines, but sometimes some lines call for a bit of, maneuvering, and I like it. Okay, so we should be going into rush hour. I think rush hour starts at 7 on the game. I'm not sure. Yeah, so rush hour started because we have 5 trains at the bottom. Okay. I think we're making more money now. Wow, okay, 1,000 people on the train. Wow. It's a big train. That's a lot of money. Wow, 1,200 almost. It can go above capacity, as most trains do in real life. Oh, okay, so some people get off at 21st Street. But of course, it does restrict how many people can go on at some point. There's some type of, taper down of passengers over 1,200. Wow, so we're getting a lot of passengers then. Yeah, 770. Oh, see this, here we go. So this is the thing, right? Let's now that we know it's working and we had the fun of watching it. Let's simulate today. Look at all that. Look at that beautiful line. It's just got that kind of awkward inefficiency that I like. The other line is the Kennedy and the Truman line. They're so efficient, right? They were the first line. They were built perfectly, just perfect. For based on the distances they're going and all that. And now the Washington line, But I like that. I think we're going to see a mix of these lines. Some lines are just going to have the perfect pathway. Some are going to be deep lines that just get to go exactly where they want to go. And others are going to have to meander a bit. We're too poor right now, the honest answer. We have to meander. We're not going to do a tunnel boring machine. We're going to do cut and cover. And only bore when we need to. Wow. Okay. I think we're making a lot more money now. A lot more money. Yeah, Truman line was at so the Truman line was at 10K before. Now it's running at 12K per day, if I recall. And the Washington line is at 10K, and the Kennedy line is a bit less at 4,000, but that's also because it's running one less train during rush hour, I guess. So there's lower frequency, but we could consider running another train, but yeah. Oh, wow, the Washington line is getting really popular. Oh my goodness. This was it. We might have had a slam dunk. Oh, look at the bank. Look at the bank account. We are now in business. All the things I said I was complaining about, that's just temporary, okay? Once it gets started, we can really start to have some fun. So let's finish the day. Are they still running? Oh, that's already stopped at 8 p.m. That is not a night train. Let me be very clear. 8 p.m. should not be the cutoff for night trains. The cutoff should be like 11 p.m. or midnight, not 8 p.m. Wow, okay. How much did we make? 21 million. 21 million. Wow. Wow. That's fantastic. 21 million. And I think it's scaling up. Let's just do one more day and go from there. So while we wait, I think now the game we've got revenue now, right? So we basically tripled our revenue, and it's probably actually going to settle a little bit higher than that. I hope, fingers crossed. So I think the episode should be a bit smoother on my end, right? It's not going to be 2 hours of recording to post 1 hour. I think that I would like to post weekly. I might sometimes have to record the second like 2 episodes, so you might not always see that the episode reflects your comments, even if I respond to your comment. That's just the reality of how my life is right now. There's nothing I can do really about that. And yeah, I think on days I'm posting, this one might go up on a Monday, but realistically, if I record on Sunday, I want to do the quick audio fixes and then listen to it on Monday, so I can make sure that it's not overly compressed or anything, and then also make notes of all the places that I need to add little asterisk comments when I say something stupid, or just, stutter or whatever, and then fix it on Monday and then post on Tuesday. Ideally, I would do Wednesday because it gives me a day of buffer. If I really want to stick to the schedule, Wednesday's the best. So, and probably I'm thinking 7 p.m. European Standard Time, maybe, on Tuesday or Wednesday. So let's see when this one's posted, and then let's try to get something a bit more scheduled. And eventually, I think a live stream would be fun. But let's do a branch live stream. So let's get a lot of lines that we have the guts of the line, and then we can spend 2, 3, 4 hours on a live stream just building branches off of everything. I think would be a very fun episode. So we're almost done with the day, and then we can wrap this one up. It's been a long one. It has been a long one. I think the pacing of this video was quite. I moved quite slowly, right? But I also think that my confidence is way higher. So the energy level, I think, also went quite a bit up. I think the speech is probably much faster. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that. But let's see where I stand and how I kind of fall into place. I think every video is going to be a bit different vibe. I think we need to settle in and get comfortable with myself. And yeah, as long as we start seeing the ums go down, the coherency go up, I'm happy. That's the goal. Okay, so since 8 p.m. is the cutoff, let's take a look. How much did we make? Oh, exactly 21. That's fine. Look, 21 million. Man, but that's still going to take a long time to, if you build a line, even 500 million, so less than half as much, it's going to take forever. But you can see it starts scaling, right? So there is potential. It is there. We will figure out a solution. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, and I hope you stick around for the next video. With that, I bid you a good day, a good night, a good sleep, a good whatever it may be for you. Ciao, ciao.